feels comfortable doing it. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you've taken a shot of that QR code to be able to scan to win. Welcome to the Engineering Society Engineering Management chat. If I could have the first slide, please, Vince. All right, we're going to be talking about Engineering Society. So I am the director of Engineering Society, and our tagline is Follow Your Passion. As I talk about Engineering Society, I'm going to explore why we have a tagline called Follow Your Passion. So that is me. I'm the director of Engineering Society. I'm the director of FUSE, which means Fundamental Skills in Engineering, which means I'm the director of first-year engineering. I'm also the director of the minor in sustainability as well. And finally, I'm also a faculty member in civil engineering. So, and I used to have Vince's job. I used to be the director of management once upon a time. Anyway, that is me. So, Engineering and Society. The program is a one-of-a-kind 5-year program. So, Vince is going to go over this as well. Management and Society are 5-year programs. So you come into McMaster, and for the 2026 fall, it is still a general first year for everybody. So in your first year, we're teaching you all about the fundamentals of engineering. And then in March of your first year, you're ranking your choices. You're saying, okay, I want to go to chemical engineering first, mechanical engineering second, civil engineering third. And then when you choose 1, 2, 3, you also have a chance or an option to choose engineering society or engineering management. And if you choose society or management, you're adding another year to your undergrad. Now, for those that are in here that are in grade 11, when you come here, most likely we're going to have direct entry, and you don't choose society or management from the get-go, but we'll do that in March as well. So if you're going to come here for September 2027, it's going to look slightly different, but we'll help guide you through it. So our idea is that we're connecting our students' technical knowledge with our global impact. We're trying to figure out what is the impact of all of our decisions, all of the things that we create as engineers on society. So we're really trying to focus on creating these very well-rounded students in engineering and society. And so unique aspects, we have an interdisciplinary curriculum. We have all the departments are represented in engineering and society, so I've got civil and society, mechanical and society within it. And there's this very strong sense of community. When we're going through this, there's also a very high, level of women that take engineering and society. We're at between 65 and 70% women versus men in engineering and society. And it's just kind of a trend that we currently have. So we have 7 exclusive society courses where we're teaching the students certain things like critical thinking, inquiry, how to ask great questions. And then we're also kind of complementing that with these sustainability and communication skills with something called focus electives, which I will talk about the program structure itself. All right, so there are 7 courses in engineering and society. Students, the third one, 3Z03 preventative, I bet, Amelia, did you know that was the name of the course?
Yeah.
You did? Yeah. You TA'd it, didn't you? Yeah, okay. Anyways, all the students call that field trip. So the 3Z03 course is Friday mornings from 8:30 to 11:30, and we take students and we put them on a bus and we go to different industries and we talk about the real world impact, like how is the supply chain? What are tariffs doing to your company right now? What is the impact of any type of policy when it comes to sustainability? How are you making sure your product is sustainable? So it is a course that students really enjoy, and then you'll see there's 3 inquiry courses, and we're teaching the students to ask good questions. So here's a question for you folks. What is the second tallest structure built in Canada? CN Tower's number 1. It is in Ontario. I heard it.
Smokestack.
That's right, Smokestack in Sudbury, Ontario. Second tallest structure in Ontario. It is about to be, well, they keep talking about tearing it down, but the reason that they built this tall smokestack is that in Sudbury, Inco and mining, and they would do the mining and they would do the smelting, and then air pollution was going up in the air, and then it was turning acid rain, and there was no plant life around Sudbury. So they built a smokestack so high that eventually that air pollution went in the slipstream and it went down to the United States. So now we call this end of pipe engineering, though. This is where, if you ever saw Finding Nemo and you saw, sorry, I don't want to spoil it, but at the end, through the sewer, pops up, that is Sydney Harbor. So Sydney Harbor, to this day, doesn't have a sewage treatment plant. And so the solution to pollution is dilution. So if you find that your beaches are being shut down, what we used to do in Halifax Harbor, in Sydney, out on the BC coast, we just put our pipes out further. because eventually the oceans would dilute the pollution. But what we're trying to tell our students is like, try and find the root cause. Why is there pollution? Can we stamp it out before we actually get to the end? Last thing is focus electives, 18 units. You have to take 18 units. Most courses at McMaster are 3 units. So it's basically taking 6 units outside of engineering. And students can take anything they want. A number of them try to go for a minor. We have a lot of our engineering society students that go for a minor in sustainability. But we've had them get a minor in innovation. We had them get a minor in business. We've got them, we just have a student who's graduating with a minor in archaeology, minors in philosophy. So some take music courses, some take geography courses, some don't get a minor. This is just a break from their engineering. We're looking to kind of expand their horizons. And so we feel that makes them a better engineer. Thank you. All right, so in terms of the jobs you can get any job from your base department. So you can get any civil engineering job if you went through civil engineering, mechanical, etc. But what we do find is that a lot of our society students are always on the lookout. They're lifelong learners. So Sherry right here, she worked at IBM. So first she did computer engineering and society. She actually wasn't sure she was going to do engineering. She really wanted to be a vet. But she worked at IBM, got enough money that she's like, now I can pursue my dream, went to vet school, and then started a company with her brother called Catalytics, where they put tags on the livestock, and then they collect data to help the farmers figure out, the feed, the efficiency, how much is being produced, when the livestock gets sick. And Sherry just filmed Dragon's Den, and hopefully we're going to have a viewing party sometime in the spring to be able to see how she did with it. Can I have the next slide, please? McCall-McBain is a scholarship for students. There's 26 students across Canada, 9 from McMaster, 2 from engineering. They're both from Engineering Society. So McCall-McBain is a $30,000 scholarship to go to another country, learn their language, learn their culture. And so we have Anna and Lydia. Anna is the president of our ukulele club at McMaster. She's also works at the climbing gym here at McMaster. Lydia also has a number of things that she does. And I think when Amelia's going to talk about, you'll find our engineering society students really tend to get involved. Next slide, please. All right, so we have a student group called ESSA, Engineering Society Student Association, which do a lot of different things. They had a number of things. They did a cleanup on campus, an invasive species cleanup earlier. They did pumpkin chucking, which you might talk about, I don't know, painted their pumpkins. We're going to have a Christmas party very soon, but they're a very involved group. So involved that we don't put caps on year reps. And so in second year, we sometimes get 20 students out of the class want to be the second year rep. Totally fine. Get involved. And then also, in terms of support, we have an industry night. There's Sherry again. So our alumni come back and they meet our students. They tell their stories, how Engineering Society helped chart their path, how it helped them as communicators, as decision makers. We already have a sign up. We have over 60 people now, and 38 of them are alumni. Our alumni are very involved in Engineering Society. So we have a cap of 150 people, and we should be at that sometime early December. And then student experience. I'm going to pass it over to Amelia.
Hi everyone, my name is Amelia Pringle. I'm in my 6th and final year of Mechanical Engineering Society. So like what Cam was talking about a bit earlier, society really makes you a well-rounded engineer. So going into university from my high school, I really liked math and science, but I also really had a love for like the arts, so I really liked writing as well. So the reason why I chose society was because you kind of get to combine the two. You kind of get to use all like your writing skills, your inquiry skills, you get to learn new things. And also get to use all your math and science. So a couple of things that I've been involved in since being at McMaster Engineering. This year I'm co-president of the Engineering Society Students Association, which is what Cam talked about. We run events, we do a lot of outreach, we do a lot of recruitment. Like Cam said, we did talk about, previously we had our Pumpkin Chunkin', which is like another club on campus. We had like a collab with them where we painted pumpkins. We do some sustainability focused events where we do some campus cleanup, and then also our holiday party as well as our industry night. So yeah, I'm co-president of that this year, previously vice president of external affairs for the last 3 years before that, and then I was also a second year rep. Like Cam talked about, we get a lot of second year reps. We get about like, I think we have 25 this year, which is kind of crazy. So we have around like a 35 person exec team, which is kind of unheard of, kind of shows the community that we have here. And then also the McMaster Engineering Musical. 2 years ago, I was the co-president of that. I was the producer, so I did all the logistics for that. I've been the vocal director of the McMaster Engineering Musical for the past 4 years, and I'm also in the cast and crew. I'm also in the McMaster Interdisciplinary Satellite Team, so I'm the mechanical drawing specialist for that, so that's more like the technical side of what I do. So for that, I've basically been able to design something that's actually going up into space, which is really cool. And then I've also been a Red Suit, which is our Welcome Week orientation leaders since my second year, so for the past 4 years. And then I have like a general member role on the McMaster Concrete Canoe Team and Concrete Toboggan Team. Basically what the words say, we make a canoe out of concrete or a toboggan out of concrete, we race it against other universities, very fun. And then I've also been a Women in Engineering mentor. And then on top of this, I also have year-long co-op experience at Dennis Group for process design engineering. Basically, I helped to manufacture or like look at different factory lines for different kinds of foods, which was interesting. Actually a chemical engineering job, so it kind of shows like a bunch of different things you can do with your co-op. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the stream that you're in. And then this year I'm doing research in the McMaster Ice Lab. I'm looking at robotic joints for space applications. So I'm looking at like simulating different vibrational, thermal, EMI vibrational things on these like robotic joints to see if they're able to go up into space and like withstand those conditions. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing. I think that the society program is great, again, for making you more well-rounded. If you had told me like 5 years ago that I would be giving a presentation at all in front of people, I would have been like, what? And I think that it really gives you like the bandwidth and also like the leadership and community experience to want to get involved in these things and to like put yourself out there. And it also gives you the time because again, like you're kind of splitting up your technical courses with non-technical courses. But yeah, thank you.
All right, so is this right for you? You might have some of these, you might have all of these. You might be a person that's innovative, or you want to be a change maker, you might be creative. It's always interesting in my second year class, I asked the class, how many of you feel that you are creative? And not everybody in the class puts up their hand. I just, I would think that more than 50% would put up their hand, but they don't always put up their hand. Inquisitive is a big thing. Now, you don't have to enjoy writing and presenting, but by the time you get through society or management, you'll find that you've done more reports, you've done more presentations. It sets you apart from people that are in the 4 years. So if you have any of these characteristics, you have a future in engineering society. So follow your passion. This is the thing that when I go and talk to students, that in high school you might be great in STEM, but there might be things that you really enjoyed in high school. Debate team, you were part of the band, in drama, love geography. This gives you the opportunity to get your engineering degree, but then still explore the things that you're very interested in and sets you apart from others. And thank you, Vince. If you could please connect with us. Capybara is kind of our unofficial mascot of the Engineering Society program, so you'll find our stickers downstairs. We've got our website, and we also have our LinkedIn. So thank you very much.
I'll use the
Oh, you're going to go. Okay.
and so that we don't have to pass it around. All right, so thanks, Cam. So I'm here to talk about the Engine Management Program. Similar to the Engine Society program, it is a 5-year program where you choose to enter at the end of your first year. Next slide. So my name is Dr. Vince Leung. I'm the director for the Engine Management Program on the engineering side. My home department is chemical engineering. I also am the associate director for the iBiomed program. So if you're interested in the iBiomed program, you could come and talk to me as well. So our program is engineering plus business. So we have a co-director on the business side. His name is Dr. Paul Snowden. He's currently on a leave right now, but he and I work together to build this program. Yeah. So a program overview. This was the first of its kind, a 5-year degree where we combined engineering and business together. They actually go hand in hand very nicely. You get a full engineering education similar to the Engine Society. You get to choose which engineering you want. So you could do chemical, civil, mechanical, electrical, whatever you choose, and management. And so that means you take some commerce courses, and then you take all of the engineering courses you require for that specific discipline. Okay? And those who go through our program, the graduates do qualify for an accelerated MBA if you do it here at McMaster. Normally, an MBA takes 2 years. You get to skip that first year if you graduate from our program. That means the MBA now is only 8 months, so it's an accelerated MBA program. And you don't have to do it right after your graduation. You have 10 years after graduation to do this accelerated MBA. Okay, so what are some unique aspects of our curriculum? One is every year you do take an engine management course together with all the people in the engine management program. That means that you will be placed in an interdisciplinary course, right? So, and also you'll be doing the interdisciplinary course in the Fuse office as well. So you get a lot of exposure to not just people in your discipline, but other disciplines as well. There are diverse career path because you have the business side. So our students can work as a normal chemical engineer or civil engineer or whatnot, right? You're trained to do that. But let's just say you're very interested in the business side, you could go directly to technical sales, you could go directly to business strategy, or if you don't want to do engineering at all after 5 years with us, you're like, actually, not what I wanted. You can now go into the business. So with students that have worked in bank industry or the Big Four, Deloitte, KPMG, things like that, because they pretty much have a core commerce education as well. And there's huge community and support. We'll talk more about MEMS in just a bit. And then lastly, we have the leadership and development. So like I said, we also have 4 engine management courses. That's really focusing on your leadership development. And we'll talk more in just a few slides. All right, so the program structure. At the end of your first year, you get to choose engine management. We have 150 seats in our program. So we take the first 150 students. It does not matter which stream you choose. So let's just say you choose chemical engineering or software or whatnot. It does not matter. We just look at the first 150 students that says, I want to be in the management program. Okay, so that's based on your GPA. And that's how it works for every other streams that you choose. And so we take 150 students. And once you get in, I guess before you get in, you do have to take Economics 1B03. So in your first year, you get 2 electives in general first year. One of the elective has to be Econ 1B03. Okay, so if you are interested in the engine management program, you do have to take Econ 1B03, and you need to have a 5 in that course. So that means it's a 63, I believe. So you have to have a minimum score of a 63 in Econ 1B03 to come into our program. And then after your first year, you take 10 core commerce courses. So that spans accounting, marketing, strategy, all those things. And then 2 to 3 commerce electives. And then now you also have 4 engine management courses. Like I said, these are really building your leadership skills. The first course you take with us is a communication skills. How do you communicate as a leader? And we're going to explore who you are as a leader. Okay, so really focusing on leading yourself, understanding who you are, how do you develop yourself as a leader. The second course with us, 3A03, is how do you lead teams. Now that you understand who you are as a person, how do you function in a team? How do good teams function and how do bad teams function? And how could you be a leader in that team environment? In the 4th year, the 3rd course with us, 4A03, now we're talking about how do you lead a business? Not just in a team, but now how do you manage multiple teams? How do you manage bring your idea, bring your innovation into the business space? So that's your 4th year course, 4A03. And then finally, we accompany that with a capstone course. So you'll take a technical capstone with your home department. That's a one year, full 8 months experience. With us, you also will take an engine management capstone, which is a 4-month experience, so 1 term. And we partner you with companies like a Hatch or a Siemens, where they come to us with some business problems. They're a technical firm, but they have some business problems, and they want us to give them some consulting like advice or recommendation. And so we partnered students groups with these companies, and they work with them for 4 months to come up with some business plans. So one example is we have Siemens this year looking at how do they expand their portfolio in the solar space. And so they want to expand their portfolio in the solar space, both in the US and in Canada. What are some go-to-market strategies? So our students are working with them directly to build that go-to-market strategy. So you get that real-life experience and you get exposure to the companies that could hire you in the future. So building leaders. So what we've found, so a couple of years ago, Nihal actually did some research for us. We're looking at our graduates, so engine management graduates, compared to normal 4-year graduates without the engineering and management part. Okay, so what we found is that at the end of 5 years, so graduates within 5 years are already, 30% of them are already in some sort of management position. And within 10 years, 60% are in management or upper management, so we're looking at directors, VP positions already, compared to our 4-year program alumni. We see at every stage of their career, the engine management graduates are, I guess, in a leadership position more of the time. So it accelerates your career, right? So that even within the first 5 years, you're already in some sort of leadership position because you are trained to become a leader. You're trained to understand how business works, right? So some of our 4-year program alumni need to go back and understand what business is or go do an MBA. Students in our program, even if they don't do an MBA, they already have the fundamental understanding of how businesses work. So next slide. Okay, so career pathway. So we did, again, Nihal did some studies. Well, we looked at kind of the broad picture of career pathways. It's not just technical, so you do have some technical like operations and IT, supply chain management, but a lot of them are not engineering based, right? The whole idea is that we're opening up a new door, not just the engineering side, but a side where it's you could do the business side and pursue a career in business as well. So project management, supply chain management, executive leadership, marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So you're really, it's not technically a dual degree, but you're being offered both sides of the picture, where you get the engineering career, but you also get the business career. Yeah. And here's just 3 sketches. So these are real alumni, and we're traced kind of their career. So we got a chemical and management students graduate in 2015. They start with a project coordinator, fairly technical, and then they went into PwC and worked as a consultant. So immediately after their first technical job, they've gone into kind of the consulting space. And then they worked at United Nations, and then finally they ended up back in Meta doing a data science. And then we see electrical engineering, again, IT specialist, pretty technical side, and then right after, again, they worked as a consultant. And then what we see here as a software graduates, they worked as some technical jobs, but then they went into a business job, and then finally they're now a VP product management. So we see both the technical side, a lot of times it's like the first job, but immediately after the second job, so on and so forth, they're already on the business side doing the leadership management side. So again, best of both worlds. Okay, so like we've said, similar to Engine Society, we do have our own student club. Nihal is one of the co-presidents, and she will talk in just a bit. So we have a great community with our students. We run events, but I'm going to let her just talk about more of the events later. We also have a strong alumni. So this is our 50th year of graduating class. So we just celebrated our 50th year. So we have 50 years of alumni that we can connect with. We also have a strong, what we call an industrial advisory committee or council made up of our alumni. So we meet every 6 months or so, and they offer coaching sessions and mentoring sessions to our students. So we have direct connections from the students to the alumni so that they get career advice and career opportunities. And a lot of our alumni actually offer either co-op opportunities or capstone and project opportunities as well. Yeah. So I'm going to let Nihal speak now. She's one of our co-presidents in MEMS.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Nihal. I'm in my third year of computer engineering and management, and like Vince mentioned, I'm also one of the co-presidents of our student society this year. So at MEMS, we kind of hope to create a sense of community among the management students because school is boring if you don't have friends, that actually make the experience better. So Management Society hosts welcome events to our incoming students. We make sure they have a very good welcome to the program. I'm also a teaching assistant for the Engineer 1P13. So if you're coming in as a regular engineering, not IBAR, you would be taking this. It's a year-long program. I'm one of the computing lab TAs. The rest is kind of my club experience as well. So I'm a part of the McMaster Engineering Society Infratech team. We code the website of the McMaster Engineering Society. So that one is also very fun because you get to kind of give back, make sure all the clubs and teams can kind of book rooms and manage their events in the website. I was also part of McMaster Solar Car project. I didn't include it here because I'm no longer doing it. I was doing it in second year. I was a firmware developer, so we kind of coded the graphical user interface of the car that we made. So that was pretty cool. My co-op experience has been in the software space in the past. I was a software developer at ATS this past summer. So we kind of did the software of the manufacturing systems. And before that, I was at Rock Solutions for 8 months. It was also in the steel industry. We were working for a company who did steel manufacturing. So again, we were kind of doing the automation for their team. And my first actually co-op was with the engineering and management department as a project support assistant. So like Vince mentioned, we did a research on alumni career trajectories and kind of decided to see where our alumni go, how the program changes their experiences. And my experience, my decision process before picking major was actually kind of different. Prior to coming university, I never, took a single business class. I didn't think I was meant for business or thought I would be interested in it, but I came to McMaster, and actually one of the open houses, I talked to engineering and management students, and I realized I'm lacking a lot of the business knowledge that any other person might know. You can get some business experience just by, going online, doing some search, but I was I actually don't really know anything about, that's not STEM related, right? Because I came to Canada when I was in grade 11, I was just taking sciences, math, I was just okay, I'm gonna be an engineer, so I thought I didn't have time to learn about business, but I came here, I took microeconomics, kind of unpopular opinion, I really liked it because even if you don't like microeconomics, you might still be a great fit for management because we take marketing, HR, finance, accounting, so it's very, very multidisciplinary. Even within business, there's so many disciplines. So it's not just economics, but I really liked learning that was something different than my regular engineering courses. And just learning about the world that we live in, the systems, I thought it was so interesting. And my intro to finance course, I learned about stocks and bonds, again, something I thought was pretty intimidating, I never knew anything about it. But I took it, I looked into it, and now I would say I'm a pretty big advocate for financial literacy because I think everyone should know these things. Everyone should know how to invest, how the businesses work and how people are managed. We take an organizational behavior course. You learn about how to be a leader, especially in our engineering and management courses. So you learn about what a SWOT analysis is. An engineer might have never heard about it, or maybe you will learn it in the previous years, when you're a leader later on in your career. But I was exposed to this pretty much in second year, So a lot of the things that I would have never known about, I learned it in management, and I made so many friends. I would say most of my close friends are now through MEMS from the society, and you would find that once you're in the program and once you're in the society, everyone shares similar interests to you. They're yes, we like engineering, that's why we're here. But business is also really fun, It's the fun part, and sometimes Vince likes to call it the dark side, sometimes they switch to the business side. But it's actually really fun. You work with teams, you work with people. It's not just you sitting, because in my software jobs, I was always, as a software developer, and my roles were actually both remote too. So I was just in front of my laptop all day, just coding away, or Teams calls, online meetings. But now I'm actually thinking of switching into the finance side. Maybe I'll try what that's like in my next co-op. And like Vince mentioned, if I wasn't a management student, I would have never sat through those industrial advisory council meetings. I talked to a lot of the C-level people in companies. So recently, Gabby, she's one of our alumni, she did a mentoring session. She works as a director at CIBC. And, you know, I have access to her network right now. I can go like message Gabby and say, hey, Gabby, like I applied to a job at CIBC, like, do you have any tips for me, you know? So you get to kind of sit in these meetings, learn about like how, you know, vice presidents of big companies like do their meetings. So it's pretty cool. If you're like thinking of obviously switching to like leadership, like business side, I would 100% recommend it, and that's why I'm here, obviously. Yeah, thank you.
So is this program for you? So if you like business, if you are interested to be a leader, if you have a strong work ethics, if you are curious, if you want to collaborate, if you want to work across the aisle, not just on the technical side, on the business side, then this program could be for you. Okay, so next slide. So if you want to connect with us, we do have a LinkedIn. We also have a webpage. You could also follow MEMS on their Instagram if you're interested. But we're just excited to have you. Thank you for coming. If you want more information, we do have these cards here. Feel free to pick one up. We have some stickers. But now it's a time for Q&A, or if you want to head out, feel free to head out as well. Thank you. Yeah, no problem.